Now, I want to talk about this organizing effort that's happening in corporate spaces, but I almost forgot about this story that I'm not quite sure how. Actually, I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this thing that's being discussed. But I want us to be aware of what's happening, because I think we're gonna need a different analysis framework when it comes to how we engage with the thems of the world. So y'all know that the inauguration, playing at the inauguration or appearing at the inauguration, is supposed to be something that's honorable, right? When a president is being inaugurated, if you are a part of the formal effort for that inauguration, it's considered a pretty big deal, right? And there are a number of institutions that really pride themselves on getting invited to participate in the inauguration. And especially those who are able to do so multiple times. If you're a returning guest, it's a really big deal. Well, Mississippi Valley State University, an HBCU, their marching band, which is known as the Mean Green Marching Machine, has accepted an invitation to participate in the 60th presidential inauguration parade for Donald Trump on January the 20th. Their president, Dr. Gerald Briggs, says the opportunity is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that would bring pride to the university and the state of Mississippi. I think that's debatable. Certainly, the state of Mississippi probably wouldn't have a problem with it. It's the Confederacy. My question is this a moment of pride for us? Right now, I will confess that I'm still upset at a lot of y'all for canceling Chrisette Michele. When Chrisette Michele went and appeared and sang at the inauguration, there was other people from our community who also went to the inauguration and appeared. And she was the one that got canceled. I think there's something misogynistic about that. I think she's a phenomenal singer. I had a chance to see her live, surprisingly, at Newark Symphony Hall a couple months ago. She was amazing. Her voice is crystal clear and wonderful. But she got canceled in many ways I don't know that she's actually been able to recover from appearing at the inauguration. So that's playing in the back of my head, along with Chrisette Michele songs. But that's playing in the back of my head as I'm reading about this decision that the MSVU's president made, Mississippi Valley State University. Now, I know our institutions, HBCUs, they go through a lot. I know that thanks to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, that they have been funded to levels of which they had not ever been funded by any previous administration. And yes, those of you who still think Donald Trump gave HBCUs a lot of money, y'all are ridiculous for not giving Representative Alma Adams, who drafted that legislation and was really a continuing program that Donald Trump continued and didn't, and we're not even going to get into the minutia of that. Look at hip hop pres, Dr. Walter Kimbrough. He talks about this extensively, both as a hip hop pres and as someone who has been a president of an HBCU, several, I believe. And so we know that Donald Trump did not give a scintilla of money in comparison to the amount of money that the Biden-Harris administration gave. We understand that despite that increased funding, that our institutions are still struggling financially. Many of them still struggling. Mississippi Valley State University is one of the youngest of the HBCUs, and that means something to me because my office is at the Center for Law and Social Justice at Medgar Evers College. Medgar Evers College was founded just after the legislation which identified HBCUs was passed into law. So while Medgar Evers College is not formally an HBCU, come on. It's giving HBC and the U. It is a predominantly black institution. I get it. I know the qualifications for each category are different, but it is what it is. So I get being one of the youngest of this particular group, needing to make sure you have resources. You want to bring notoriety to your institution. I have questions about this. 866-801-8255, 866-801-TALK. Should an HBCU perform at President Trump's inauguration? I have a lot of questions about this because the other thing is it's not just that they got invited. The other challenge is that in addition to getting invited, there are fees attenuating this particular effort. Because you get invited to the inauguration, they're not paying for you to come. You have to pay. And the cost of attendance for this HBCU Mean Green Marching Machine, and I'm sure they are wonderful. I'm sure they are phenomenal. They are amazing, dynamic, and I know that they are definitely doing amazing, dynamic, wonderful things at this institution. But it's going to cost $350,000 for them to cover their travel, their accommodations, their meals, and their equipment transport. And they have launched a GoFundMe to raise the money because they do not have the capacity to pay for it on their own. Now, I just clicked the GoFundMe link, and they have raised $231,000. They say their goal is $240,000 on the GoFundMe, but according to their reports, it's going to cost them $350,000. This band has 250 individuals. They have played on a variety of stages, according to the GoFundMe. They have played at the NBA games, the Rose Bowl parade, the New Orleans Mardi Gras parade, the National Show Band Battle of the Bands, and other esteemed Battle of the Bands and parades. They say throughout our history, we have succeeded in ensuring that over half our students who enroll at the university also graduate. They say they're seeking financial assistance from their supporters in the United States to actualize this objective for the students, and our assistance, we the public, is essential to helping them attain this esteemed goal. Now, according to the GoFundMe, again, GoFundMe says that they need $240,000, and they've almost reached that. They've got 4.9 thousand donations. They have currently raised $231,766. Now, when I saw this initially, I said with my full chest, I will not give not one red, black, nor green dime to this effort. There are lots of things. I support a lot of HBCU initiatives, several of them anonymously, but I support a lot of HBCU initiatives. Not in the millions, because I ain't got millions to give, but I spread my little coin. I spread it around. I don't know that I would give to this. I know I would not give to this. Am I wrong? 866-801-8255, 866-801. To me, this does not connote, this is not a moment of pride. Would I be proud at my child playing in the band at a Klan rally? But my kids don't go to this school, so maybe there's something I don't know. I personally find this interesting. What I'm most curious about, because I don't want to besmirch this school. They've made the decision. This is what they're going to do. I'm curious as to this idea that being invited by the grand dragon of the current edition of the Klan energy of this nation to perform. I'm curious that in light of everything that we've seen thus far, that we would consider that a point of pride. That's the part I'm not quite, I'm really struggling with this. I'm really struggling with it because I feel like my black side wants to be like, what the hell is you doing? But what is we doing? You gonna go shake your little tail feather at the Klan rally? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm sure I'm not seeing all that I need to see around this. And I know a lot of you are connected to this institution. You're connected to institutions that are asked to do these sorts of things. So I don't know if y'all have a different way of looking at it. I was saddened. That's just me personally. I'd love to hear how y'all feel about it, because I do believe that maybe I'm just missing something. And again, this is not, if you're going to call just to bash the school, we're not going to have that conversation. That's not what this is about. They've made their decision. I respect it. I just will not support it financially. But what I'm quibbling with is this idea that this is a source of pride, that our institutions should be proud to be included, because that to me feels a little sunken place, schizophrenic. Let's hear what some of y'all have to say. Let's go to Wendell in South Carolina. Thank you for calling, Wendell. What do you think about all this?
Well, definitely. First, I'm appalled. I don't, like you say, I don't want to bash the school, but I hope, they ought to consider while they're up there, if they do disgrace us and go up there, I think they should at least ask the president to apologize for calling Mother Africa a shithole country when everybody knows it's not a country, it's a freaking continent. Maybe they should consider getting him to apologize for that. So I hope that's the thing they would do. Okay.
Yeah. Do you? I wouldn't hold your breath. I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. But I think I find it appalling. I'm appalled by the framing of this, that it is it's a source of pride, that it's something that we should, and so maybe I'm too far out there. Well, me and Wendell, we and Wendell is too far out there, because I find this appalling, and I'm confused as to why we still, or some parts of our community still see inclusion at the Klan table as a good thing. And that's where I'm struggling. Let's go to Ed in Queens. Thank you for calling, Ed. What would you like to add to this conversation?
Yes. Good morning. Real quick, I just want to say that I'm a SWAC alum. So we're in the same conference with MVSU. So I'll just tell you like how the words in like our alumni groups, like things that said I'm from different SWAC schools, people who are still active.
Wait, you know what? I
like,
just realized not everybody knows SWAC. Can you, because you know it's a diverse show. Can you explain what you mean when you say
so?
SWAC?
SWAC conference is the Southwestern Athletic Conference. It's like Jackson State. I'm alum of Texas Southern University, Prairie View University, Mississippi Valley, which we're speaking about now. That's the SWAC conference. It's the schools in the Southwest, Grambling State, Southern. So there's like groups where we talk amongst each other because we're a strong conference because we're old. So it's like a lot of this talking, like it's fun, fun jiving is what we do, but it's like it's a family. And so we speak as a family, and jokingly, somebody said from one of the schools, it's like somebody said cancel them and started kick them out of the SWAC group.
Ouch.
And overwhelmingly, people came with love and jokes. Like, hey, it's like a brother who marry your brother or your sister who marry a white girl. You're not going to stop loving them. You're still going to you're just going to have a couple of jokes at the barbecue, but you're going to keep loving them. So it's so with their decision, I say it's like that. Like, the SWAC, from what I read in our little fun debate groups, that's like that's the majority of us.
Yeah,
I can say that.
So my question, and I think that I like the fact that y'all responded that way, because I don't think canceling the school, I think that's a bridge too far. Currently, let's see how far into the Klan territory we get. Then we may have another conversation come the next time. But my question is, did you all have any conversation about whether or not this is something to be proud of? Like being invited to participate in Americana, I get it. Like it pulls at the patriotic heartstrings to the extent that we have them. And then you answer that question for yourselves. But was there any conversation about whether or not this should be considered something about which we would be prideful?
Never. So I would say that, like, never. People from the school that's in the group are, not proud about it, but understand, like, that whoever president, you gotta like kind of roll with them until that session is over, till that president is out. You kind of like gotta just do your part and roll with them till that president is out and get the next president in. And I think that's sort of like how they taking it. Like, this is still my home, but
right, I'm still here. I ain't trying to screw myself over. I get it. That's why I'm not taking a hard line on this. But let's get thank you for your call. Let's get some more voices on the line, because I feel like there's a tension here, and the fact that point didn't come up in the conversation, that's curious to me. Let's get a couple more voices on the line. Let's go to Rudy in Georgia. Thank you for calling, Rudy. Your thoughts this morning?
1973, and in 1971, we were invited by the Israeli government to give concert choirs in the nation of Israel for 2 weeks as goodwill ambassadors, and the amount was enormous, but the college had to pay $25,000. That was our portion for this experience, and we raised that money like overnight. People from the state of Florida gave us the money overnight. The problem I have with it is not that they are going to the inauguration, because that is an enrichment experience, but the fact that they have to go on a GoFundMe page with all of those billionaires and all of those representatives from Mississippi not making sure it happened, that's the part to me that's shameful.
Okay, so the financial burden, I'm wondering what could $350,000 also do for the students at the school. But again, this is not about their decision. Is being invited to a Klan rally a source of pride? Like that's the part. It's not sitting well with me. It's not. So let's get some more. Just say it. I think if you're gonna do it, do it. But the uncritical embrace of this as an opportunity and the framing of it as an opportunity, that is troubling to me in light of everything that we have seen.